Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Anu. I'm a holistic mindset and life coach, and I'm here to remind you that you can be, do, and have anything that you want. I want to start this video today by asking a very simple question. When I say that you can be, do, and have anything that you want, what is the first thing that comes to your mind that tells you that you cannot have certain things? That what I'm saying is just some sort of motivation to uplift people, assuming that they have to suffer in some way or form to be watching this. What do you think you do not deserve or you cannot have? And the next question I want to ask is, what is your worth? What is your worth as a person? Are you worthy of love? Are you worthy of abundance? Are you worthy of having a happy, fulfilling life? Are you worthy of having a pain-free life? Are you worthy of having the best health, the optimal health? Are you worthy of having all the beautiful things the world has to offer? And if not, then who decides that? Who tells you that there are certain things that you cannot achieve, there are certain things you cannot have, there are certain things you do not deserve? Who tells you that? You see, the thing is, our worth is decided by no one else but us. That is why it is called self-worth. You yourself decide your worth. You yourself decide what you deserve, what you are capable of, and what you are not. You decide, no one else. If at all you go by the narrative and the understanding that somebody told you at some part of your life in the past that you don't deserve certain things, that you're not worthy of certain things, or you came to that conclusion because of some life event or experience, sit and reflect on that part and then tell me how ridiculous that is. That I have spent 20 years of my life, 30 years of my life, and how much ever amount of time believing that I don't deserve certain things, I'm not worthy of certain things, because somebody in my past told me so, or made me feel so, or made me experience that way. So I draw the conclusion that there are certain things that I don't deserve. In a world full of possibilities and potentials, what do you deserve? What are you worth having? And then ask yourself, why? Why? Self-inquiry before digging your ancestors' graves and finding faults in your parents and your society and your neighbor and the world and your siblings and your partner and your ex-boyfriend and your current boyfriend. Before being Sherlock Holmes and digging your ancestors' grave, why don't you sit with yourself and ask yourself these questions? Why? Where did I hear that? Who told me? Yes, if there's a certain person who once made me feel or told me that I'm not worthy of love or worthy of whatever, not worth having a job, whatever, you sit and marinate in that. You make that your narrative. Whose fault is it? I'm quite often asked this question about the caste system in India. So the caste system in India previously was quite humiliating, I would say, and quite embarrassing, where you had certain caste system and the people from the upper class had much more access to education and had much more access to arts and all sorts of entertainment and whatnot. And the people with the lower caste were treated basically like slaves, right? And they were not given the basic human opportunities. Now, as much as I've seen people frown upon on the caste system and ask me and then tell me, oh, that's so pathetic for our societies to do like that, blah, blah, blah. You know what's also interesting? For me to watch the same people putting hierarchies in external things like brands, celebrities, right? Celebrities, something on a pedestal. Brands, you have certain brands, you've got Dior, Chanel, God knows what, on a pedestal. A friend of mine recently sent a picture of a bag and she said, oh, I finally got this bag. And to be honest, it was not my style. Let's just put it that way. And I said, oh, that's nice. That fits you. It's quite interesting. And she said, yes, it's from, I can't even recollect the name of the brand, but she mentioned some brand, which apparently is supposed to be super expensive. And for me to think that brand did not even exist in my reality until someone told me about it. So your Dior, your Chanel, your God knows what exists only because you are aware of it. If you were not aware of it, they would not exist. So tell me, who is more powerful in this situation? If you look at the moon, for instance, you look at the beautiful nature, the beautiful sunrise or the sunset or whatever, they are there for you to appreciate. So when you don't observe it, it does not exist. It is somewhere, maybe in your imagination, but until you put your imagination there, then it exists. So who is powerful here? If you believe your worth, your value is determined by what kind of branded stuff you've got in your closet, sit and inquire that. I'm not shaming anyone for having any materialistic desire. I have wonderful things as well. But they do not decide your worth. If you have made a bucket list of things that these are the 10 things I want to have. I mentioned this in my vision board video with the bucket list. If your bucket list is full of these materialistic things, it's absolutely fine. But if you attach a certain emotion to it, that I will feel successful only when I have these things. I will feel happy. I will feel that, oh, now I am something only because I have this designer collection. You diminish your value. You're giving power to all these external things that come with an expiry date. The moment they are produced, they come with an expiry date, and you buy into it. That is a herd mentality. That is living like a sheep. We ridicule sheep just because they are in this herd and they're so easy to navigate. How are we any different? So tell me, what are these brands without you? If you think your worth and value depends on how you appear, what you carry, where you go, where you travel, what are these things without you? What are these brands without you? What are these places without you? What are your Instagram followers or how many subscribers you've got? How does that make you feel worthy? Your worth is determined only by you. Self-worth, you, yourself decide. Just a few years ago, I was in one of my dark places, I would say. One of my best friends from India, she was so sweet, and she's known my journey almost all my life. And I told her I feel extremely tired and I don't know how to navigate from now on. I feel, it's like a never ending cycle. And I have one challenge after the other in my life. Every time I get out of one challenge, there's the next one waiting for me, it seems like. And she told me something that's quite famous, and at least in India, we say that quite often, that God gives you only what you can handle. Right? So it makes you sound like a soldier in a battlefield. And God is the one sending you to war, like he's getting some sort of pleasure out of it. To understand that God gives you only what you can handle, we've taken it always in a negative way. So if somebody's suffering and you've known this person and this person has been kind and gone through a lot in life and is a good person, basically, we say that, right? We say, oh, it's because, God gives his toughest battle to the bravest soldiers or whatever that nonsense is. But how about understand this from the other side? God gives you only what you're capable of handling. That means how much can you handle? Why don't you think of how much happiness can I handle? Why not that? What if it's not about survival and battle? What if it's about how much prosperity, how much abundance, how much happiness, how much love, how much kindness, generosity can I handle? That's how much I will get because I decide that, nothing external of me. If I want to have a certain feeling and I feel this is the thing on the pedestal which I get it and then I'll be fulfilled, I need to be fulfilled right now, even if I have nothing in my life. Because I generate that emotion. It comes from within. There's no external God punishing you, putting you on the battlefield, go fight for your happiness. It's not true. You decide your worth. If you believe this is the only extent to which I can be happy because I deserve only so much, that is going to be your life. There's no external God sitting and punishing you and finding pleasure in it, because that sounds ridiculous. If you create something, if you have a child, if you're a parent, would you wish bad for your child? Would you wish horrible things for this child to suffer and learn? Would you wish that? And if you are not a parent, if you don't have kids in your surrounding, you don't have nieces and nephews or whatever, then take a picture from your childhood, from when you were a baby. Take that picture. Look at that picture. It's just a little child freshly entered this world. What do you wish for that child? And do that for yourself. If you can't even do that, then think of your best friend. What do you wish for your best friend? What happens when one of our best friends, they go through a bad breakup or whatever? No matter whose fault is in that story, in that relationship, we always tell our best friends, oh, this person never deserved you. You're so much better. We say that automatically because we love them. And we try to remind them that they're worth having anything and everything. Why can't you do it for yourself? Why can't you be your own best friend? So when you look at that picture from your childhood, what beautiful things would you wish for that baby? You are that. You are not going to tell that, oh, I want you to suffer and realize that you're not worth loving. Would you say that? I am sure each and every one of us, we've gone through life situations where we thought we would not come out alive, right? Whether it's losing somebody to death, grieving, losing partners, having our heart broken, financial crisis, anything, health problems. I'm sure there's some part of your life where you might have thought, oh my God, this is too much, and how do I get out of it? But you did. You did. And did you celebrate it? In retrospective view, you have been the one holding your hand constantly throughout this time. And that part of you is worth celebrating. That part of you deserves all the happiness. You need to know that. You need to believe it. I cannot convince you. The world cannot convince you. No book, no speaker, no one can convince you. It has to come from within. And that is why I say self-inquiry is important. Don't go out blaming your parents or your siblings or your environment. They can do whatever they want. Your environment can be as bad as it can get, but you get to decide your worth. Sit and ask the right questions to yourself. Question your own ego. Question your own identity. Where did this information come from? And if at all I can find the source where it came from, or I cannot find the source where it came from, why do I believe it? Why do I believe it? If somebody comes and tells me that I hate a certain group of people, or I hate people from certain religion, I am not going to believe it. I'm not going to budge because I stand in my truth and I know who I am as a person. You cannot convince me otherwise because I know who I am. Know yourself, know who you are, and the world has no power over you. I've seen people do affirmations, for instance, I'm worthy of love, I deserve happiness, I'm high value, I'm this, that. Who decides that? Why do you need to do these affirmations? Sit with yourself, inspect yourself, and understand how ridiculous it is. How do I know I'm high value? How do I know that I am prioritized? How do I know that I'm worthy of having certain things? I'm worthy of love. I'm worthy of happiness. I decide. And that's it. You make that choice, you make that decision, you stand in your conviction, and that is all. Stop getting influenced by all these external things that you see on social media and newspapers, and I don't know what other stuff is out there. And how is that term called? FOMO or something, fear of missing out. Missing out on what? What are you missing out on? And I don't feel ashamed when there are certain things in social settings people discuss, maybe something new, something viral product or some news from somewhere. And I don't feel ashamed at all to say, I am so sorry, I don't know what this topic is about. That's my choice, because if you want to be in that herd mentality, you want to live like sheeps, then congratulations. I'm not going to do it because I've gone through a lot and I know this girl deserves all the good things. That's my choice. I decide that for myself. And if the world cannot give it to me, I will create it. I will do it. I will go fetch it. If I still don't get it, I am still not budging. I create my happiness. I know what I deserve, and I know how much hell I've been through. So no one can tell me to bend or to break or to beg for something. I am never doing that. That's my choice. I am never begging ever in my life. for people to stay or for people to go, for things to happen, for things to unfold, for this to work out in my favor or to not work out in my favor. I am never begging again because I got sick and tired of that character of mine. It doesn't mean that I'm not humble. It doesn't mean that I'm not kind. And it doesn't come from a place of arrogance. Knowing your worth is not making yourself arrogant or coming from a place of being a narcissist and all these things that you watch on social media. That's nonsense. Because a person who knows his worth is just standing in his truth, operating from confidence, operating from knowing that everything, even if there's a leaf moving on a tree by a wind, it is working in my favor because you've been taken care of all your life. You have been. You just don't acknowledge it. You don't see it because you decide to live like a sheep and you decide to live like a victim because it's a very comfortable place. It's very comfortable for me to sit here, cry, and blame everyone outside of me, but I'm not responsible for it. I'm a poor victim. Get out of that victim mentality. Get out of that victim mentality and never beg for anything. Don't you ever diminish your value. Again, don't be convinced by me. Sit, close your eyes, inspect, ask yourself the right questions. Ask yourself, why? Why do I act like this? Don't try to go and fix the world outside of you. What's done is done. Don't try to understand why certain people did this to me and why this person left me and why this happened. No. It's all about this. It's all about this. What's going on here? It's all about that. This I cannot control. I do not want to control. I do not want to control. This I can control because this is mine. This is the place where I have 100% responsibility, 100% control. This is mine. This is my navigation. This, I don't care. This, I'm responsible, 100% responsible. The environment outside of you does not define your worth, self-worth, self-worth. You yourself decide your worth. So if somebody comes up to you and ridicules you, what is your worth? Why certain things should have power over you? You decide that. I want people to open their eyes and wake up. Wake up. Don't flow with the current like a dead fish. Don't do it. It's your life. You will gain out of all of this. Don't let me convince you. Don't let anyone convince you. It has to come from within. I'm just holding the torch and showing you this could be the way. But you've got to walk. You've got to open your eyes. I can't do it for you. This is coming from a place of love because I've been there. I got sick and tired of being in a certain character, being in a certain state, you sitting and marinating in something that somebody told you 20 years ago. And this day and age that we live in, you'll find all the justifications of why it's okay for you to be the victim. And you want to spend the next 20 years of your life like that. Please do it. It's your choice. But I'm telling you, there's also the other side where everything is in full abundance. Wake up. Please wake up. Don't waste your life. Don't waste your time. We are not in harmony. We were not built to live like this. We as human beings, we are celebrated guests here. We are gifted with consciousness, but we behave like beggars. And it's unfortunate. So yes, that's the video for today. I hope it was useful. I hope you decide and you choose to wake up. I hope you understand what I'm trying to tell you, that you are the whole and soul operating power in your life, in your reality. So please know your worth. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe. I come out with a new video every Friday. I'm sending you lots of love and see you all soon in a new video. Bye.